So before we start the session, for those of you who are co-conveners of the communities, I have summarized the material you sent me like in bullet points for the 6 respective communities. There's 2 systems. Either I present myself these short slides with my own summary, or if you want to, we may pass the mic around and you can summarize yourself commenting the slide. What do you prefer? Shall I summarize? Yeah, it's okay? Okay. Now we are starting the official session because it's recorded. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so welcome to all of you survivors of the conference. We will try to make this session not too long, though it is extremely, of course, stimulating and interesting, so that you can survive until the very end of the event. So more seriously speaking, let me give the word to Taimur. Yes. Not moving. IT, where is the IT, please? Oh, yes. Okay.
It will. Okay, thank you everyone for being part of the conference. It was great to host you and to attend all the sessions together with you, engage with all the discussions, and I hope you also find it very interesting, very intriguing. And the community that we are trying to build around for the method enthusiasts, I believe it will progress, it will attract more people in coming time. And our connections will also get stronger to collaborate and to materialize this into something that we can show to the outside world in terms of services, quality research, and products. So yeah, thank you all for attending all the sessions, and we would look forward to your feedback. And yeah, if you have any suggestions, so please, you can already comment through the email and the other platform that we have. So it would be nice to hear back from you. Thank you.
So thank you, Taimur. And so thanks also on behalf of the whole team, in particular also Ulrike and Clémence and the whole local team here in Saint-Louvain, and Anna, who is around. She has survived, but she's not at the session. Okay. And it is of common use to also thank again the sponsors who have financially supported, but not only financially, because thanks through this event, we have begun to develop some more structural partnerships, in particular with Gesis, Taimur. And also we have also welcomed the first 2 partners, including Verbi Software and Edward Elgar, the publisher. There were really nice interaction with these 2 sponsors. So that's a really nice step forward. Okay. What I want to do next is to stress especially the work we've done here at this conference around the communities and discuss a bit or exchange a bit with you about the next steps. We believe that, and that was by design actually, the ideas we already had developed on paper a year ago, that communities are at the heart of the next developments of MethodsNET. So communities are not an end in themselves, they are a means to develop what we want to develop. As I said in the introductory session, the key ambition of MethodsNet, if I want to summarize it in one sentence, is to link up experts to experts, users to users, and then both together, right? And this is what communities can do in many ways on a more continuous basis than specific events like the conference. So in very concrete terms, we have set a timeline in agreement with the dedicated and motivated groups of co-conveners. Try to set some targets between now and December, before the end of this calendar year, to start getting on the move. So via these small teams of co-conveners, which can still be reconfigured and expanded. This is organic and in very concrete terms via some first activities and initiatives. That, of course, not everything can be launched at once, but the recommendation, suggestion is to start with things that can be done quite swiftly, quite easily in a lean way, and then more ambitious things can be developed. And our role then as MethodsNET is to facilitate and provide the technical assistance and support for your initiatives. And especially what came out of our discussions very clearly is your willingness to act as bottom-up drivers for the third conference. So we will reflect on it also in terms of the structure of the conference management even, right? In the way we may configure perhaps the committee for the third conference. And we've taken also as a models a few other original conferences we know where the communities, the subgroups play a kind of a key role. And that's, I think it's a very, very useful approach, especially for our network. And also because possibly the respective communities may have different ideas even on formats. So we may have perhaps a conference with more diverse formats, depending on the needs, specific needs of perhaps some communities of ours. And also, since this is all evolving and organic, at this stage, it's of course perfectly okay to revise even the labels of the communities. We had this discussion yesterday about the Global South, for instance. So again, as long as there is a, let's say, a mutual agreement among the co-conveners, it's perfectly okay to change and to think about the contours and the statement, the mission statement of the community. As a reminder, how to access the communities. As a member of MethodsNET, right on the top right of the web page, the public web page, there is a click zone, right? That My Communities, and you can access then the interface, and we'll probably provide a small video where we explain a few key features. It's usually normally quite straightforward. We just need we only need to populate with content. It's a slight detail. All right. And we will certainly work on enriching and further configuring the environment so that there's more features, more functionalities. And we will discuss on a case by case whether we need some additional functionalities that may perhaps not be in the interface itself, some extensions perhaps, but we'll discuss this technically by the core team, depending on your needs. This is my summary, so please yell, not too loud, please. If I don't summarize, I'm not summarizing correctly, or if I'm missing an elephant in the room. The Qualitative Interpretive Approaches community sees itself as a collaborative hub for researchers in that area at all stages, with especially, like other communities, particular attention to the needs of more junior researchers, in particular PhD candidates. And so it can be used as a platform for dialogue across disciplines, as we had here at the conference, but also across generations. Among the activities that are, let's say, prioritized, and of course the question will be in which particular order, this group is particularly motivated in providing a track for the third conference, but also thinking about perhaps more flexible formats beyond panels. Panels have pros and cons, but of course we are very open to different formats. We tried some here, right, already this year, Taimur. I think some went really well. Some webinars, either specific problem solving around problem solving of probably for young researchers, or could be thematic. Different let's say, different formats of webinars, and possibly a bit more tentative roundtables and office hours for informal support, kind of more organically organized. And what we discuss also is that possibly a software suite or tool like MaxQDA could be a shared tool, at least for some members of the community. And the The group is still a bit open in terms of how many people will be joining the co-convenership. All right, is that a sound summary? Yes, no protest? Okay. The case-based and comparative approach to community did not really, in its note that we received, did not rediscuss so much the concept itself. It is already summarized on the web page. And in terms of activities or initiatives, what came to the fore was especially workshops around dissertations, so again, young researchers, PhD researchers, and different projects, and with the launch activity, so using this format as a concrete launch activity. So not webinar, but rather workshop, something a bit more sort of more interactive. Also, what was suggested is an email list to share diverse resources, but especially the publications produced by the young researchers, and using this also as a dissemination channel. On this note, if I may make a more general remark, we will need to discuss a bit strategically in the core team of whether we would strongly recommend one common, let's say, channel for instance, if there is emailing, or whether we would rather recommend something that is integrated already in the system, right? Because one issue might be that a researcher might be interested in 2 or 3 communities and then might have to open multiple interfaces. So perhaps it's a good idea to try to think about some form of integration, not multiple channels, if I may say, to be discussed. We will certainly convene some exchanges between the co-conveners and the core group to align pragmatically on these issues. Also, another idea is the Meet the Expert Day that would be able to, in which more junior researchers could meet more experienced methodologists. A Reddit page for more conversation, discussion threads, and webinars again. And another idea that came from that group is to propose or suggest a plenary speaker as a guest speaker for the plenary sessions. We'll certainly make a call in any case. So, but that's a good idea in anyhow. The Statistical and Computational Approaches Committee also, again, did not also question its contours. But it did mention that it could be fine-tuned. And so that's no problem because the field is moving. All the fields are moving actually, but this one in particular. And among the possibilities or the key initiatives, what was especially stressed was the creation of a public space, and the group sees itself as really a space for interdisciplinary collaboration. Again, with the focus on PhD participants, PhD researcher participants, and as a channel to engage the community and to link up people who are not yet fully, who might be in different segments potentially, and to showcase the contributions also of the emerging young scholars. And among the channels that are envisaged, a mailing list server again, some form of discussion platform to be discussed technically, and also sharing teaching materials. On this front, we have envisaged, it's not yet done, to share more generic resources, not necessarily only via the communities, but via another page on our website, but things could be linked, of course. You could perhaps access this in 2 ways. And at a more practical level, in terms of training and support, the sharing, development and sharing of short, like accessible how-to-do guides, and the organization of kind of more flexible forms of training, like community-led training, not a formal instructor teaching, but like some more flexible training. As you can see, the ideas are kind of complementary, and these formats could certainly cross-fertilize across the communities. The mixed method community is currently has reframed its contours. It's going to be updated on the website shortly. In terms of activities, what was stressed first is some online workshops, rather than webinars. So again, more interaction. Some more ad hoc online feedback sessions, but not in large groups, like in small groups, a bit like small virtual rooms. For these kind of formats, we will be able to offer the infrastructure easily via Zoom in particular. And I forgot to say, by the way, that for things that can be then shared publicly, we would be able to record things. If you want things to be recorded and shared, we'll be able to share them via the YouTube channel, YouTube in particular, and some other possibilities, other channels. Some short overviews on topics. The medium was not really specified. Is it image or sound or simply or text? And again, more not really projects, but like a wish list for the conference from this group. Think of offering, if the conference also proposes formats from the center to the periphery, if I may say, propose some other formats beyond panels. I would answer, yes, please propose formats as part of your proposals to the conference. And add some sort of informal icebreaker session on the first day of the conference. That's something we can certainly consider. Sorry, yeah. So it's good because this is recorded.
Yeah, it's just a very practical comment, but as I saw it now, I will say it now. I noticed in the overview of the communities that all communities are set that they are called public,
Yes.
except for the mixed methods community, which is called private. So
Really?
that might explain some of the technical issues that we had. So
right.
thank you.
Okay. I think this is typically an issue that we should be responsive upon. So we will need to find the right interface to exchange these small things that can be easily fixed and tweaked, right? That's for all the communities. Thanks a lot for this. That's a great idea. Useful input. All right. Yes, it's not moving. Yes. For the Methods in Global South community, the concept is being, again, updated. But in terms of the philosophy, what came out as a key term, a key slogan, if I may say, but achievable slogan, is to see the group as a co-creation platform where the users on the ground, the practitioners and the scholars can be active and not only receive pre-prepared knowledge, pre-formatted knowledge. Because the challenge in the Global South is also to provide access to resources and have people on the ground contribute to knowledge creation. There's also some normative implications behind that, a bit long to discuss here. In terms of activities, I was part of the discussion here. So on behalf of the group, please again yell if I'm not clear in my summary. We propose to do a light survey and circulate it by multiple channels to get input on what people would like to have, actually. We'll use a webinar as a launch activity. We have not yet discussed the pitch or topic. As for other sessions, we also propose sort of informal sessions, kind of more flexible. One format could be lunch and learn sessions, at least for those who might be in the same, more or less, time zone. Like, for instance, quite some chunks in Europe and quite some chunks in Africa could be more or less aligned in terms of time slots. Otherwise, it could be breakfast and lunch and dinner together, right, across the continents. Why not? Or late dinner sometimes if it's in Japan, or vice versa. All right, a WhatsApp group was mentioned as a possibility. Again, here a note of caution, perhaps. Okay, let's think about not multiplying the channels, but perhaps for some regions we might need different channels. Why not? And then short or bite-sized content for a resources page. There are some now for the developments on how to create content in a very agile way. This was actually discussed here at the conference. All right, the label also is subject to still perhaps a bit of discussion, because Global South, as many other concepts out there, is normatively situated and oriented, historically oriented. So were the previous labels. So we are thinking about it. And what we noted as a big gap right now, or as a precious potential, in fact, is that for persons who are students currently under the current membership scheme and who are in country groups C and D, that's in the World Bank classification, so lower income basically, membership is actually free. And so we could, at least for the moment, we could offer a lot of this access for free. That would be a great way to engage with this logic and provide resources where there is a dire need. And last but not least, teaching. Something many of us here in the room are doing in our everyday practice, unless we escape teaching and we come to conferences. So the concept was already quite well circumscribed in on the website, and it was actually laid out last year for a launch event, a community of practice event. And one key issue that was mentioned by the group is that pedagogy should be positioned as a distinctive theme. And therefore, and that's the last point, a note here, it would be a good idea. So the group proposes to have a pre-event, short event before the conference that is dedicated to pedagogy. One advantage would be also that perhaps we could also attract people who are local around these issues, who might not be interested in the full conference, but who would be pedagogues meeting here for this shorter event, more focused event. In terms of concrete initiatives, the group will propose a call for papers around pedagogy issues for the conference. It will use an online meeting as a launch event, and it would propose potentially 1 or 2 sessions at the summer school as well. That's the groups did not mention so much this summer school option. The other groups, let me tell you a few words about it. So we are still working on the program of the summer school. It's in progress, including formats, but there will be slots for short additional content, ad hoc or in a sequence of topics. So one possibility would be for some of the groups, of the communities, to propose like very short formats, probably more in person, could be online, why not, or hybrid. That could be like side dishes besides the main courses. That's a message to all. Suggestions can be sent to info@MethodsNET or directly to myself, Benoit, or to Derek Beach, another fellow EB member. All right, and then also, yes. So wait. No, not the system. We can hear, but not the recording. It's coming. Yes.
I think, and Chris can correct me if I'm wrong, that we had also talked about a call for papers.
Yes.
And the call for papers would be what would precede the online meeting, where we would talk about we would talk about what it would mean to respond to the call.
Okay.
Am I? Okay, yeah. So
okay.
that's missing from there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for the clarification. Yeah. And regarding the conference, the group will also propose, in principle, or envisage to propose a plenary panel on approaches to teaching methods. So within the conference, in addition to the pre-event event. Okie dokie. So thanks a lot for all these very stimulating ideas and future facts. Not only ideas. Ideas matter, but it's even better when we implement them. Okay, so regarding the committees, we'll be in touch digitally with many of you here in the room, and some who are remote. And so we are really, we are very excited to be this phase of building the communities actually, and let's see what happens. I'm very confident. We are confident, and let's do a great job together in a flexible, open way. A small, actually large, note of attention. We will need also to guarantee that the players, of course, people in the room here will play the game, but people who are intervening follow some basic rules of good practices. We have a charter at MethodsNET of respectful behavior, etc., respectful communication, and all these things. Because when we know there's problems on some digital channels, sometimes of moderation on disrespectful behavior and so on. So let's be attentive together as a collective about these important stakes. We will certainly have debates on these communities, right? The debates should also always be collegial and respectful. Okay, let's wrap up the second conference. And let me tell you a few words about the third conference. First, I wanted to ask you whether you wanted to make any comments on, like open comments on the conference or the communities or whatever other point right now. It's really open. It's a real question. Yes, please, the mic. You have the mic over there? From Irem, yeah.
I think everything was.
I think it's closed, the mic.
Hello.
Yep.
So let me thank you again for this organization. Everything was great. One thing that I found to be challenging is to be present in different community meetings at the same time, because I was part of more than one communities. For example, I would like to have known what happens in mixed methods and computational group.
Mm-hmm.
Would it be possible to schedule them at different times next time?
Let's discuss the options.
Because
this might also be challenging, because then it would always collide with some of the sessions. But okay, but we take your point. I take your point as a point of attention. Yes. Thank you. Are there any other comments? Apart from your immense satisfaction with the events and great tiredness. Okay, so let me wrap up with concrete things. First, we will provide more info on how to access some photos that you can be able to use and to share. Some of them will be also on social media shortly. We will also provide the recordings of the main sessions, these plenary sessions. We need a bit of editing time, etc. This will be shared and advertised. There is a very short evaluation survey that's coming up like very shortly. Anna did not tell me the date, but like very shortly, but perhaps tomorrow or today. And please use the quality feedback spaces to provide more suggestions besides the few closed questions. If you want to give us direct feedback, we are around today. You can also write an email to us. We can compile all of this to do an even better third conference. And last but not least, Taimo explained to you on day one, we are very glad to, for the first time, propose proceedings for those who want to have their pieces published with the DOI and all, right? So the full package. So we will send some details on the procedure, the deadlines, etc. So it will be a full, let's say, full professional proceedings production, which of course necessitates a bit of formalization and following some pipelines and some deadlines. That's logical. And I would like to thank personally Taimour and also Ulrike and the colleagues for enabling this important progress. Yes. You will all have access, most of you already have access to the digital space. We will inform you about the steps of progress of the interface. So let's arrange with Irem and the other fellow colleagues to inform you in due time as we make progress. in the next few weeks. And the third conference, teaser and avant-première information. It was discussed yesterday with the executive board. The location will be in Louvain for the third and most likely last time. This is, I think, not really secret. We will consider whether we make a public call for 2027 for the fourth conference, or whether we exploit some existing contacts out there. If you would consider hosting the event, please join us. Contact us. We can discuss on one-to-one. We're very open. This is not such a large event. It's dense and expert-driven, and it's a great thing for a host institution to welcome, I think. We would most likely want to keep it located probably in Europe for different reasons. But again, let's discuss the options. And the dates, I added most likely just out of caution because it is recorded, okay, just in case we change, but very, very likely 3 days, sometime between 26th October and 6th November. We found some limitations in making this quite early in September. We know that there's always pros and cons with any date and slots, but that was a slot of the launch events that apparently was quite good as well. And importantly for Stay Louvain, this is a week. There is 1 week within these slots with more availability of rooms in particular, and the hotels as well. To be confirmed very soon. So thank you very much, and let's meet again next year. Thanks so much.